So now I'll tell you about the SQL queries. Earlier I've already told you what is SQL, structured query language. Through this language we are able to retrieve data from the database. Now thing is, when we want to retrieve all data from the entire table, we press all. So instead of writing, suppose we have a table called roll number, name, phone number, address, date of birth, and I want to retrieve all the details from all the fields of all the records. Means suppose I have 100 records and all these fields, so I want to see it all, how it is retrieving. So I will, in that case, I will select the normal default statement for selecting a query is select statement. It is a reserved word. Select roll number, comma, name, comma, phone number, comma, address, comma, date of birth from table name. Table name is student, so from student semicolon. Now when I run this command, all the fields with all the student records will be displayed. Now instead of typing this individual fields of all the fields, we can also use the star button or the star option. The symbol star means all. Star signifies all. So we will write select space star space from table name. So your table name is student and semicolon. Semicolon is compulsory because without a semicolon your command will not run. So semicolon is a terminating symbol. So select star from student semicolon means it will retrieve all the records from the table student. Now suppose if I want to only retrieve roll number and name, in that case I will write select column name 1 comma column name 2 from table name. So this will be my syntax. Now the example would be select space roll number comma name space. If you are writing the last column, after that no comma, then straight away space and then from. From means from where you want to retrieve. That means from the table name. So from table name, that is from student semicolon. This will only retrieve the roll number field and the name field, not all the fields, because I have not asked the query in such a manner. I have asked only to extract roll number of the student and names of the student. Now suppose, so we can say the select statement can be extended further to retrieve only specified and relevant data excuse me, from the table, leaving out the remaining fields. For this it must be used with the where clause. Where means where we are giving some criteria. For example, if we want to see all the details of a particular student, then using only the select statement will retrieve the details of all the students in the class. Now this increases the processing time for the query and the complexity to find the particular records among the record of the entire class. Therefore, we can use the where clause. Where clause can be used to restrict the data that has to be retrieved. That means it is a selection based on some criteria. Now what will be the syntax of this particular statement using where clause? Select column name 1, column name 2 from, now you can have n number of columns also, from table name where space condition. Condition is a criteria which it will match, and based on that matching it will retrieve the records. Then after that semicolon. Suppose if I want to say only roll number 5, those details will be retrieved. So what would be my query? Select roll number, name, phone number, address from student where roll number equal to 105. So semicolon. 105 is the roll number. So when it searches the roll number, it finds that this is the number. Only that particular record will be retrieved. Not all the records, but all the fields all the fields of the roll number. Here if I have missed out date of birth, that means date of birth won't be received, but if I write date of birth, that also will come along with this. So whatever fields I'm specifying for that particular roll number, those records or those data will be retrieved. So this you can very well carry out in SQL, you can carry out in MS Access, which you'll be learning separately. So now there are many other queries how you can do selection, like you can set, you can update table, you can update the records, you can redesign the column structure. All these things you can do with the help of structured query language, that is your SQL. Now let's come to data warehouse. Now what do you mean by a warehouse? Warehouse is just like a go down sort of a thing where you store the inventory or store the products. That is called a warehouse. That is in bulk where you are storing. Now for example, any garment warehouse. So what happens over there? You do not store any shoes or any other items over there, health and hygiene items. So you are only storing garments in that warehouse. Now if I coin the word data along with it, data warehouse, what does it mean? That means it is a place or it is a system where huge amount of data is stored. So what we can say about data warehouse, a proper definition: it is an information delivery system that integrates and transforms an organization's data into information to make it suitable for making strategic decisions. For building a data warehouse, current data and past data is also known as historical data, are pulled from the organization's databases and from other external sources and then stored in the data warehouse. Always remember, data warehouse is a huge collection of data which stores not only your current data but also your historical or past data. Now why we need past data, that I'll tell you later on. Now scientist W.H. Inman, also known as father of data warehousing, defined data warehouse as a subject oriented, integrated, non-volatile and time variant collection of data in support of management's decisions. Now each of this term I'm going to explain. What does this each word mean? Why is term used as an adjective before defining the word data warehouse? Now in short you can say the features of data warehouse: subject oriented, integrated, non-volatile, time variant, like this you can see. Now what is subject oriented data? The transactional database always puts attention on the day-to-day transactions that are part of the normal operation of the business. The data warehouse is concerned with the factors in the business environment that are driving those transactions. In transactional systems, we store data by individual applications, whereas in the data warehouse, data is stored by subjects. That is why the name subject-oriented data. For example, the business subjects differ from enterprise to enterprise and are critical for the enterprise. For example, a manufacturing company will have sales, shipments, inventory. These are all critical business subjects. But for a retail store, sales at the checkout counter are a critical subject. In a data warehouse, there is no application flavor. The data in a data warehouse cut across application. That means it will be applied or it will be received from different applications also. A particular subject may be involved in different types of transactions. For example, a customer appearing in the accounts receivable system may also be a supplier appearing in the accounts payable system. Now suppose in a banking system, you are a customer, you have a normal savings account, also you have a PPF account. That means your identification will be same in both the places, but other details will be different in the two places. Your name, like if I write customer name CUSTOMER and somewhere else in other application if I write C name, that is inconsistent. That means it is not same. So we try to maintain in the same way in all the applications wherever it occurs. Now each system will have only part of the customer data. There is no single consolidated view of the whole organization. This way we can see the decision maker uses this data and the structure is very cumbersome. As decision makers are interested in only subjects, to get a complete picture of any one subject, they will have to access many tables within many applications. So what happens? Data warehouse gathers all of this data into one place, so that data for a particular subject is contained within one table. So it is a combination or aggregation of all the data stored in multiple places. So that is the work of a data warehouse, because it is too much subject specific. Now let's talk about integration. What is integrated data? The warehouse does not or does more than gathering data. I mean, instead of collecting data, it also does more than what we expect. It derives its data from the transactional database. Now the integration process will consist of two tasks: data cleansing as well as data transformation. But the origin of the data is not visible to the users. For any kind of proper decision making, what happens? Data in the data warehouse will be taken from various applications in which data layout, character code representation and field naming will be different. For example, if the account number in the savings account could be 8 bytes long, but only 6 bytes in the checking account application. Therefore, if we try to put this non-integrated data, that is disparate data, in the data warehouse, inconsistencies will arise, and therefore this inconsistency has to be removed. That is also the work of a data warehouse. So data elements must be standardized and the meanings of data names in each source application must be confirmed. This is called, or this is known as, data transformation, where we are removing the improper data, or you could say erroneous data, and making it correct. That is called data cleansing. And when we transform it into a new or proper data, correct data, that is called data transformation. The data must be cleansed, just what I said, to remove errors from the input data. If the cleansing process is faulty, then the decision maker cannot trust the data and the data warehouse working fails. So now what are the integration issues? Suppose if I have just what I told you, description. Suppose in a sales voucher I write IBM as the customer name. In purchase order I write CNAME as the customer name and I write IBM. In inventory table I write customer name CUSTOMER, but I write the full form of IBM. So what happens? In three different places we are meaning the same word, same customer, but writing in different way. So IBM should be written in the same way as in written in one place. It should be written in 3 places, 5 places in the same manner, not differently. That will arise integration issues. Similarly, if I want to write male female, if I somewhere I write 1 stands for male, 2 stands for female, somewhere else in the purchase orders if I write X equal to male, Y equal to female, in the inventory I write M equal to male, F equal to female. That means these are all clashing with each other. Everywhere it means the same, but the denomination or the meaning or the symbol is different. So in that case, what happens? In that case, what happens is we are making inconsistent data. So this inconsistencies should be removed while we work with the data warehouse, and that removal only will help the decision maker to carry out proper strategic decisions. No improper data will lead to a proper decision making. Now what is non-volatile data? Non-volatile data is something, when you heard about the volatile word, volatile means something which does not get evaporated. Like in spirit, when you use nail polish remover, many of you are accustomed with it. What happens if you keep the lid open? It evaporates. That is called volatile. Same concept has been used for in case of memory, RAM and ROM. One is volatile memory, one is non-volatile memory. That means the data which it gets erased, it's called volatile, and data which remains permanent is called non-volatile. Same way here also we are using the term non-volatile. That means the data which we receive from different systems are generally shifted to the data warehouse at specific intervals. Now these data should not be deleted at any point of time. It should be permanent. Depending on the business requirements, these data movements can take twice a week, twice a day, once a week, etc. Now, business transactions will not update the data in the data warehouse. They update only the transactional systems in real time, because whatever data we have, it should remain. Previous record will be treated as historical data, and current day-to-day activities will be treated as present current record.